Good evening, friends. In this video, we'll see the ubiquitous computing network, which is known as the mobile user network. In the previous video, we have seen the three different types of ubiquitous network, that is personal area network, body area network, and uh, power line communication network. So, not all the network accessed by mobile users, so applications and device, they needs to be accessed via wireless network and vice versa. So wireless access device can be static and the mobile users can move in between wired and wireless hotspots such as the you can say that the mobile network. Now, Parkinson in 2002, he makes a clear distinction between mobility and portability network support. So what mobility refers to? So mobility refers to a mobile application in which the users are free to continuously move anywhere within the range of wireless network. On the contrast to this mobility, portability refers to a mobile device that is stopped or suspended during a roaming itself, but it may be attached at a discrete access points and this access is given intermittently. Now, this is useful for the mobile office types scenario when the user works at a multiple location. For example, user works at a central business office or premises, or at the customer premises, or maybe at the home. So there are several design issues for network to support the mobile users. Now, which includes how to locate and address the mobile user. This is the first design issue. How to route the data to the mobile receiver. How the channels will be allocated for the multiple user, and whether or not there is a fixed network topology or infrastructure, or maybe there is a ad hoc network. Thus, we can also classify the mobile network support in terms of whether or not the network infrastructure is fixed or the network infrastructure is dynamic. This is first. Second, whether or not the user is assigned a new address every time the user changes its location or keeps the same address independent of mobile's location. Now, the advantage of mobile user support at the network level of network protocol stack, which means that the mobility, we are providing mobility at least to some extent, and this mobility is transparent to all the application across the network. Now we'll see how the mobile addresses are allocated. So the network location in this figure, you can see that we are comparing the mobile addresses versus the wireless addresses. So mobile addresses is not the same as wireless addresses. So mobile devices data access without the wireless connection, which uses the prefetched data, for example, the laptop and the PDS. On the counterpart, the mobile and wireless devices can be used on the move, example, the mobile phones and the GPS devices. And the third point is larger devices with the wireless access, that is the non-mobile devices, for example, the wireless local area network, it may be PC, WLAN PC, a large screen TV or the radio. So the network location or the address for a mobile user needs to be determined in order for a user to receive the data. So it is easier to send as the user just has to locate the nearest access network base station. So based on this, there are two basic approaches to mobile user addressing. First approach says that keeping the address same in the different location, or second approach says that giving a new address for every change of location. Now, if the user keeps the same address, the network must keep track of users nearest base station or the access point address. For example, the mobile phone or the local area network. Now, for the portability type mobility, a new address is acquired typically using dynamic host configuration protocol. Now, the user changes the address depending on the location. For example, the mobile internet protocol. Then routing becomes more complex. Now, in this case, the routing becomes complex. Now, either the user's address can be updated by a base station by paging the mobile user periodically, Now, the best example of this is mobile phones or the mobile user can notify the services of service updates. So whenever there is a significant move, that is from moving from one hotspot, one wireless hotspot to the another wireless hotspot to advertise their location. Now, there are different types of routing for mobile users, which are categorized, which is classified among two dimensions. One is fixed versus variable routes, and second is single versus multiple path. Now, the mobile phones or the cellular network and the wireless ad hoc network, they comes under the single path route network. Whereas the network that can be used for battlefield or maybe for some disaster management or for the personal area network application. So these networks are basically come under the multipath routes. Now, an example of single path route is mobile IP consisting of mobile node, home agent, and the foreign agent. So a mobile node is a host computer or a router that changes its points of attachment from one network or subnetwork to some another network without changing its home IP address. A home agent is a router or a mobile node's home network that delivers the data to the mobile node and maintains the current location information for each of its mobile node. Then a foreign agent is a router or on a mobile node's visited network. So a foreign agent is come into the picture whenever the mobile user moves from its home network to some visited network. Now, this foreign agent is also a router that cooperates with the home agent to complete the delivery of data to the mobile node while it is away from the home. So the mobile IP performs three main functions. The first function is the discovery. So what is discovery? The mobility agent advertise their, or the mobile node advertise their availability on each link of which they provides the service, and mobile node can use the DHCP to receive the care of address. So what it means, when mobile user moves from the home agent to the foreign agent, it actually sends a request to a visited network or a foreign agent to access the service area of the foreign agent. And upon request of this mobile node, the foreign agent assigns a DHCP address, which is generally considered as a care of address, to a mobile node. Now, in the second phase, in the second function is the registration function. When the mobile node is away from home, it registers this care of address assigned by the foreign agent with its home agent. So this is basically the registration process. And the third function, that is the tunneling function. So tunneling function is used for data to be delivered to the mobile node when it is away from home. So the home agent creates the tunnel and transfer the data to the care of address assigned to the mobile node. And this is way the data transmission take place from the home agent to the mobile node via foreign agent. So this is the best example of single path routing. Now we'll talk about the multipath routing in mobile ad hoc network. Now, in contrast to fixed computer network, the ad hoc networks, it uses the connection that are established for the duration of one session, and they requires no base station or no fixed router. So ad hoc network that supports the mobile nodes, they are called as mobile ad hoc networks, MANETs. So rather than use the dedicated router node, each node is willing to forward the data for other node. And so the determination of which node will forward the data is made dynamically. And this is completely based on the network connectivity. Hence, the name ad hoc network is given. Now, instead, the device discovers others within the range to form a network for those computers. Now, device may search for target nodes that are out of range by flooding the network with the computers. With the broadcast, sorry, device may device discovers the others within the range to form a network for those computers. As well as the device may search for a target nodes that are out of range by flooding the network with the broadcast that are forwarded by each node. Now the connection can be made over multiple nodes, and the routing protocol then provide the stable connection even if the nodes are moving around. So managed can be used in a situation multiple area routing network, multiple path routing network can also be used in situation where the useful network infrastructure is already in place, and maybe sometimes the managed are used in a natural disaster and in some armed conflict situations. So these are some applications of managed. So as I just mentioned, so managed are used in natural disaster. So in a situation where the useful network infrastructure is not already in place, it may be used in an armed conflict situation, and it may be used in a wireless multiplayer gaming. So the best example of wireless multiplayer gaming is the Sony's PlayStation. Friends, this is the example of multiple root network, multipath root network. You can see that as the ad hoc network, they do not have any specialized computer used to store and forward the data to its destination. So this is the example of multipath area network, which the nodes are used to store and forward the data to the destination. So this is all about the mobile user network in a ubiquitous computing. So with this we have completed all the networks used in a ubiquitous, or which comes under the category of ubiquitous network. So to recapitulate what we have seen in the last video and in this video. So in last video we have seen the wireless network versus the mobile network, and then we have seen the additional ubiquitous network. So there are 4 types of ubiquitous network. The first type is the power line communication. Second type is the personal area network, which we have seen. Then the third type is the body area network, and the fourth type is the mobile user network. So this is all about the different types of ubiquitous network. In the next session, in the next video session, we will talk about the service-oriented computing network. Thanks a lot for patiently listening this video also. We'll soon meet in the next video to discuss on the service-oriented computing. Thanks.